Robert Borelli's life reads like a segment out of a Mario Puzo novel. Or maybe some of you remember the film Goodfellas, a story of Robert's friends in his original neighborhood in Brooklyn. It's the story of a mobster's life, a life of crime and violence. Except this is not a film or a Hollywood novel. It's all real. It's a real story of violence, crime, drama that later became a story of redemption and one of love. It truly is something beautiful. Robert, I want to start all the way from the beginning. I'd like you to take us all the way back to your childhood in Brooklyn. Tell us a little bit about that.
The thing I remember the most is constant fighting, and it was very racial in my neighborhood, and we just used to fight almost every day.
Almost like a West Side Story kind of situation.
Exactly, just almost exactly like that there. So that's how I grew up. So fighting was normal
kind of par for the course for
exactly,
kids. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So we did do that. We had gangs. Our gang used to be called the F and R because we came from Fulton and Rockaway.
Okay.
But I also remember growing up that my mom and my dad had struggles financially, you know. And I could say in my neighborhood you probably had three stereotypes. You had my family, working class, probably, I don't know if that's considered middle class in my neighborhood. We probably
lower middle class,
level,
maybe.
Area would have been. And the struggle of hearing my mom and my dad about the finances all the time.
Right.
And then you had the people that were on drugs. Heroin was pretty big at that time.
Right.
Vietnam War came and the heroin kind of like flowed pretty good.
That was the times,
And then you had the drug addicts nodding out in the streets. And then you had the wise guys, what we call them wise guys, the guys from the mafia. At that time didn't know them, but guys that were well-dressed, well-groomed, nice cars.
Yeah.
So I had three stereotypes, and my mom and my dad, I didn't want to be like them because I didn't want to have the struggles of the finances.
Right.
I didn't want to be the guy nodding out on the streets that didn't have much of a life at all. So I took to that kind of style, lifestyle.
Yeah.
So as a young kid, I was a pretty tough young kid, even though I was small. And I think the smaller you are, the tougher you sometimes
You have to be sometimes,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So that's how I did it. And the guys used to like me, and they used to send me to stores and do things for them. And I would go in and play pool at a young age.
Right.
And that's just kind of where I just started following that lifestyle.
Yeah, I see. So it was like looking up to these guys, you know, kind of wishing like, hey, you know, they got it pretty good.
Well, they got all the respect in the neighborhood. They, I mean, even cops respected them.
Right.
You know, if they needed something, they looked to these guys. My mom, my dad respected them. The store owners respected them. They kept the neighborhood pretty clean and made sure that no trouble was in that neighborhood.
Right.
So they got a lot of recognition.
So this was just the environment that you grew up in at that time, you know, and it was all around you, I would imagine.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah, on a constant basis.
Yes.
You were that kid in the neighborhood that they told all the other kids
to stay away from.
Don't hang out with Robert, you know.
But yet if there was trouble, I'd be the first one they got.
Of course, that's how it always goes.
So yes.
Okay, we're going to stop right there for a moment, Robert, and we're going to continue with this story in just a few minutes.
Okay.